What's going on, guys? This is gonna be my third YouTube video ever, so still in the single digits, but hopefully we can put out better content every time that we record a video. This is my Trek Checkpoint SL5 from 2023. Some noticeable differences from the last generation are going to be the cables are fully integrated and go in through the headset, and then also the rear of the bike, there is not going to be an adjustable kind of rear dropout to change the handling characteristics. I'm really glad they got rid of that. It was a really kind of finicky thing to mess around with. It actually moved the disc brake caliper and the entire through axle system, so it was definitely not the greatest thing ever. I'm really glad they changed that. But so if you're doing any research on purchasing this bike, you're going to realize that this is not the stock build. Pretty much everything on here I've changed, so wheels, tires, crankset, seat, handlebar, stem. The only thing that's stock on this bike still is the seat post, and then the group set for the most part. And then what else? Yeah, I think that's probably it, really. The group set's one of the only things that's really left on this bike. This bike is not the lightest bike ever. I kind of wish I went with the SLR version, but it's a little bit out of my price range. Also, you don't get a whole lot with that in terms of dropping the weight. Also, the colors, in my opinion, are not that great either, so I went with the SL, and I've been really happy with it. I've been able to keep up on road group rides on it. It's a really versatile bike. I've never had anything really go wrong with it, so I can't complain. I'm really happy with the finally bike companies are going back to threaded bottom brackets, the T47. Can't complain about that. I'll go over some reasons why I upgraded this bike. So aero is king, right? And we all know that. So, or we're starting to know that. I upgraded to these bars to be more narrow, no flare, because I don't really feel like I need it. You'll see that the frontal profile of this bike is pretty slim. I could get an out front for that Wahoo, but I just haven't gotten around to it. And then with that, thinking about aerodynamics, the deeper carbon section wheels. These are the Bontrager TLR 3 Pro 3s. I think they're 37 millimeters deep, and they have a 25 millimeter internal rim width. That 25 millimeter internal rim width is actually going to blow out your tires even bigger. So on here right now, I have 42 millimeter challenge gravel grinders, and they blow out to 45s right now. They have a pretty small middle patch, and then the sides have good traction for cornering and everything like that. And then, so for the group set, I needed a bigger gear in the front. The stock bike comes with a 4630, which I was kind of gearing out on some downhills and stuff. So I switched to a 12-speed Shimano ultegra crankset with a 50, I think it's 5034. Just so everybody knows, you can use a 12-speed crank on a 11-speed group set, and in my opinion, I think it shifts better. Next, we just have a simple Pro stem, Shimano Pro stem. It's negative 17 degrees by 110. And then we have this Italia carbon railed saddle, which does great for me. It's light, no complaints there. And then I had the Wahoo Speedplay pedals on there. I think Speedplay, I just recently switched over. I think Wahoo Speedplay pedals are the best in the market in terms of comfort. I think other people might disagree just because there's a lot of float and play, but I've had some injuries that make regular Shimano cleats kind of uncomfortable for me to be in for a long time. So yeah, these 15 degree float Speedplay, older generation Speedplay pedals have been great. No complaints there. So to something that's interesting and kind of, I believe, to be an industry trend going forward, at least with gravel bikes and off-road bikes, is the internal storage compartment. You'll see right here, there's a thing right here that you unlatch like that, and then you can pull this water bottle off. It comes as a one thing, and then you can pull out this flat repair kit right here, or just repair stuff in general. You can really put whatever you want in there, but it's nice to keep the weight low in the bike and not have to have a saddlebag back there. Something to note, this bike comes with a place to put a tool, but Trek does not sell that anymore. So I just cut it off so that I had more room in there, because it actually, that little piece right there interferes with how much stuff you can place right here. So that's just something to keep in mind. I'll quickly pull out that little thing and show you guys what I got going on inside of there. So now that we have this thing open, we can see what I have in here. It's pretty limited right now. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of stuff. I'm not going on too big of adventures, so I'm not too concerned with what I got in here. But namely, got a CO2. Something to keep in mind is with bigger size tires, you need bigger CO2s to fill up your tire. So this is a standard road one, so this kind of gets me out of trouble, but not entirely. So with bigger size tires, you need to get bigger CO2s. So don't be deceived by the smaller one. I just have a Trek multi-tool right here. The only thing this is missing is a chain breaker, which is something I think everybody should have on their bikes. I actually just recently ran into a guy that broke his chain and I couldn't help him and I felt really bad. Then just some tire levers. These are not hard to get off, these tires, but it can't hurt to have some Park Tool tire levers. We have a Ride Now inner tube. This is for bigger size tires. These are extremely light. These are under 50 grams and they are less than like $15. So I'd definitely recommend picking up some of these even for your road bike. They're super light. Rotational forces or rotational mass can make your bike a lot quicker. So definitely recommend this. And then we have the classic Money right here to prevent or be able to get you home if you have a massive sidewall slash. So Money is, it's funny because Money is very good at being kind of rigid and durable, and it retains shape fairly well even after, like, you know, bending and all that stuff. So I don't know what they make Money out of, but it's definitely great for fixing sidewall slashes. And then we have a little patch kit for that tube. And then finally we have some bacon strips. I definitely recommend going to Dynaplugs. Bacon strips are not that good. I've been meaning to switch over to Dynaplugs, but I haven't done that yet. And then lastly, I have a Presta to Schrader valve adapter, and this is going to enable me to go to gas stations and fix my tubeless setup if I need to. I think it's just a good thing to have. I mean, some bike pumps don't have Presta adapters, so I think this is always good practice to carry around, especially if you're going long distances. Yeah, so this is what I got going on with the bits storage stuff, and then I'm just gonna briefly talk about the cost breakdown of this build super quickly after I put this thing back on there, and then quick shout out to Griffin Cycles. So I think this bike is great for the person that wants to get out and do anything. I'm a really big proponent of gravel bikes just because they allow for you to go places fairly quickly on the road, and they're pretty capable off-road. I would say I've taken this on single track. Not the greatest. I mean, it has a relaxed fork angle, so it's going to be, you know, it's going to be handled better than a road bike would in that situation. But this is definitely made for the US gravel racing scene. So Unbound stuff like that's kind of point and shoot gravel. I'd say that's the best application for this bike. So what are we looking at for costs on this bike? This bike starts at, I think, around $3,400 in this when I bought it new at this spec. All in right now, I'm probably looking at about $5,000 retail for this bike. And I would say if you're going to pick any bike to do anything, it's going to either be this gravel bike or it's going to be a Trek Debane where you can fit 38C tires that has relaxed geometry. It's basically a gravel bike. So if I had to pick between one bike to do it all, it would either be a new SLR Debane or one of these SLR if I had the money and I could only pick one bike. But overall, I think this is a great bike, and I would recommend it to anybody. The group set's great. The geometry is comfortable. The ISO speed, something that I kind of glanced over, is okay. I mean, I don't really feel like I feel it all the time, but overall, I have no complaints about this bike, and I really would recommend it to everybody else, and that's why I'm making this video. Have a nice day, guys.